Well, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us. We're so glad that you're here, checking out what we're so excited about wellness versus a brick and mortar type of business and the benefits that it has to offer. Hey, everyone, it's Marty and Cheryl Turner with the Shackley Corporation. We're so excited to share this with you. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started as we talk about the difference between a traditional business startup and the costs associated versus a wellness business.
We're in the middle of an exploding industry as far as our wellness business, but I actually owned a couple of other companies. One was a construction company with my kid's dad. We had, and this is 40 years ago almost, had hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment. That would be millions in today's money. And our inventory were machinery, tools, lumber, things like that, and other expensive items. We had a showroom, we had other real estate that was a lot of expensive overhead. And the rest of these kind of expenses were also in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for us. Even the travel agency that I owned with my sister, I mean, the computers we bought were $70,000 in the late 80s. It was incredible because we had to buy them through the government. And, there's a lot of regulations. So I am so grateful that we found an alternative because the traditional business startup costs with the legal, administrative, office space, rent, inventory, marketing, advertising, equipment, and technology, employees. We had a ton of them in the construction company, and we had four in the travel agency. We had to hire people who were qualified because my sister and I were not qualified. So we had to pay somebody, and we had to pay for the building. She owned the building, so she paid that. And good thing because 25 years later, people didn't need travel agents anymore. They could go online. And she had a big drugstore chain come to her and offer her millions for the dirt the building was on. So that turned out to be a really good investment for her.
Absolutely.
And the operational costs, the license
Mm.
permits, research and development, all of that stuff was on us and the working capital. Plus, you work all the time when you own the company.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the real estate side of things, for those people that you know that are successful in real estate, the fact is that they still have tons of overhead, whether it's marketing, the association fees, monthly and quarterly fees. You got to take your annual classes and keep up with your continuing ed, renew your license, your brokerage fees, the percentage that the broker gets, the promotions that you're doing on your listings, whether it's the photographer, the staging, all the other things from the data management programs, CRMs, the training, the licensing, the office supplies. I go through a whole lot of paper and ink.
Yeah.
The office rent if you're not working from your home. And of course, the fact that if you do have, a facility of your own, the mortgage that you have on that, vehicle wear and tear, assistance, whether they're virtual or in person, and never knowing if the next day is going to be payday or not. The fact of the matter is that if you sell a product, it's great. If you sell a property, yeah, you make more money, but you start over. And the fact of the matter is that there's always going to be, maybe challenges when it comes to closing. Things don't always go so smooth. Now, I'm not saying that wellness is going to be perfect either, but the stress, the overhead, and the risk factor is so much less and gives everyone all the upside potential with very little downside. So let's kind of compare and contrast that a little bit about wellness versus, for instance, being on a budget.
I like this. Being rich is having money, being wealthy is having time.
That's right.
And one of the things I've really appreciated in our wellness business, I've had some health concerns. I've fought cancer twice. I won, by the way.
Yay.
And but we took a lot of time off, and we still got paid. And the initial sample pack was a couple $100s. There's a $50 licensee fee or the ambassador kit, but then we get to buy life-giving products at wholesale.
Amen.
That's basically our overhead, is making ourselves healthier. So we pay to go to Summit. You don't have to. You can have a virtual summit from your home. We like to go because we like to see our friends, and we love to travel anyway. And you can attend or you can host events. Next week, we're doing a virtual healthy happy hour. And my daughter's actually the one that started these. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have some macaritas. And, but the important thing is you set the pace.
Yeah, and the cool part about it is whether you're traveling or you're doing an in-home type of event, all of that can be a business write-off. So for a lot of people in their first year or two, it's not only the benefits of the products and the products at a discount, but it also could offset your day job, if you will,
Hmm.
in the way of tax savings that could get you a whole lot bigger refund when it comes to Uncle Sam.
Hello.
So there's a lot of opportunities here for you to kind of paint yourself in, if you will, without having to break the bank to get started in the wellness business. So if you think about it, the wellness business is continuing to boom. It's a consumable product that will provide you monthly income as people are getting the benefits monthly from using them. You're also able to take ownership of not only your health, but teaching others to do the same. Also, the idea that it's, back to the nature trends that everyone's talking about now, getting green and getting GMO and getting all these, things that are in our food system out of them.
Right.
This is a way to have that. And like I said earlier, it's also the tax write-off and
Yeah.
benefits, the proven potent solutions that is available through these products that come with 100% money back guarantee, plus the incredible wellness community of like-minded entrepreneurial people that are about helping people, the planet, and themselves, and doing it in a natural way to build not only your immunity, your bodies, but also your brains.
Yeah.
And Time Magazine, many years ago, talked about nutrition and healthy lifestyle prevention prevents up to 90% of major disease. So if you think about it, yes, our DNA is important when it comes to longevity, how we look, how long we live. But the fact is that 90% of it comes through the nutrition that you can get from products that we're offering, the nutrition through the types of products and vegetables and things
Right.
and fruits that you're buying, but it's also the healthy lifestyle when it comes to getting out there and exercising and being out in nature, breathing fresh air,
That's right.
and of course being around positive-minded people will help you with your outlook on life as well. All right. Well, so with that, let's talk about right place, right time. First of all, the global wellness industry is absolutely exploding. We're talking right now at $7 trillion and growing nearly twice the rate of the global GDP.
Yeah.
So it's a high stakes business revolution with a whole lot little with not a lot of risk for you to be able to tap into that wellness sector that literally eclipses pharmaceutical and also rivals tech when you look at the numbers, because the personal care and beauty command, we're talking about $1.1 trillion,
Yeah.
while the fitness and health and activities generate another $1.2 trillion. And that was from CEO Today.
Yep.
Um,
And we have stuff for house cleaning and
yeah,
all kinds of organic products that will help people have healthier homes and bodies.
Yeah, so the idea of having an e-commerce where you can click an order versus a brick and mortar is pretty awesome. Having a side gig, think about it, 60 million people in this industry now and growing. 45% of Americans are looking for freedom and flexibility
Yep.
and being able to help ends meet and have the tax benefits and have the health benefits. I mean, you truly have it all. And the top three trends are definitely in your favor of what's happening in the world today.
I love it.
All
And
right.
Shackley puts their money where our mouth is. They have done tests. One of them was a 20-year study. And these are two different landmark studies. One's 10, one's 20. They showed that the first multi-study comprehensive look at the health impacts of long-term usage of a broad array of dietary supplements that had never been done before.
Yeah.
And these studies were conducted in collaboration with the University of California, Berkeley, and later Tufts University, compared long-term Shackley users with a control group of the US adults who took either no supplements or two or fewer. We have proven science, we have natural ingredients, true wellness since 1956. So we're going on our 70th year.
Woo-hoo.
And we were the first climate neutral company. We have over 70 patents and patents pending and over 110 published clinical studies. And these aren't the kinds you pay to get into. They're the kinds you pray to get into. They had 32% lower levels of triglycerides, 13% lower levels of homocysteine, 36% lower levels of C-reactive protein, and 141% higher levels of vitamin D.
Oh,
Those are all so important. When I went through my last battle, they took off 5 prescriptions they gave me for pain for it. And then they added, she takes organic supplements. and they listed a few of them, but they don't have them all. So I'm going back in the record. I'm going to list them. But they showed that 97% lower people have lower medication usage. 80-year-olds in Shackley are on a zero point 0.5 prescription, 89% lower from 40 to 59, and 83% lower med use over 60 years old. You guys, that is powerful.
Absolutely. So, with that, let's talk a little bit more now about the telomere study and how that impacts people's longevity.
Now, this is one of my favorite studies because when I was little, I always wanted to play with the big kids. They knew more, they were faster, smarter. And this picture of these beautiful women are all in their 70s. So I knew I wanted to play with the big kids when we got to Shackley. They proved that keeping telomeres from shortening may create a longer, healthier life. And Dr. Eppel said, I don't think I've ever seen such a healthy adult sample. Shackley may protect them from the usual effects of age, obesity, and stress. An 80-year-old Shackley user is projected to have the same telomere length as a 41-year-old non-user. That's powerful. 40% less shortening, and we had significantly longer telomeres in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond compared to the controls. They said supplementation may slow shortening of telomeres that occur with aging. You guys, that's a really good thing.
Absolutely, no question about it. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about, some of the opportunities that we've had, and we've been really honored to be one of several couples that were featured in a book, The 4-Year Career, the Master's Edition, the byline, How to Make Your Dreams of Fun and Freedom Become True or Not. And again, it's really all about if you go for it or not. And so Cheryl and I were kind of the poster children of, if we can do it, they can do it too. You
That's
can do
right.
it too. And one of the cool things about not only being able to meet Richard Bliss Brooks, but also all the other people who were really about the foundation of what this is about. And think about it in 40 years. The idea is that if you would dedicate 40 years to doing the right things in a home based business part time, it could, not a guarantee, but it could potentially give you a lifetime of retirement income that will not only benefit you, but generation after generation.
Right. And if you haven't read this book, get a hold of it. Ask the person who shared the video to help you find a copy of it. And if you read it years ago, read it again. There's never been a more important time to help people find a better life. As Marty says in here, he grew up on welfare. He bought his first car at 15. This picture of me in the lower left is in the basement of a commercial building because when I sold my house, my ex owed money to the IRS. And they came to the closing and took every dime. I didn't even have first and last month's rent. And so I moved into the basement of a commercial building. Now you can't tell. I have my silk drapes and my wool rugs and my carved onyx chess set and my cherry wood furniture, but we were not doing well. My 10-year-old came into my room and said, "We're broke, aren't we, Mom?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "But we're not poor." And I just looked in those big brown eyes and she said, "Broke is when you're just out of money. Poor is when you're out of everything."
Yeah.
So that was one thing. We always had faith. We always had hope. We took this picture with Richard Bliss Brooks, the author, on Maui when Shackley sent us to the Waldorf Astoria. What was the name of that hotel? It's a Waldorf brand, but it's
The Grand Wailea
yeah,
Resort.
yeah. And they sent us there. Shackley takes really good care of you. How big was the lanai on our room?
Well, we're mixing the two different ones on the Big Island
Oh
versus
yeah,
the
the big
Maui.
island. You get confused with all these trips. We were going to do a meeting for friends on the Big Island because Shackley sent us there too.
Right.
And we had told our people that tell them we'll meet them in the lobby because we thought we'd have a normal hotel room. Well, we walked into our hotel room and it was like a house. It was bigger than some of the houses I owned. It had a huge kitchen, dining room, living room. The master bedroom was massive. The bathroom was bigger than most
It
bedrooms.
was like
And
a 40-foot lanai,
yeah, all marble and a 40-foot lanai.
pretty much.
Shackley paid for all that. Shackley says thank you like no other company I've ever known.
And I love what Cheryl's quote is because, again, knowing where we've come from and knowing where we are now, feeling very blessed, is that you don't want to let your history keep you from your destiny.
That's right.
And that's really what this is all about. So let's talk about a few of the other quotes from the book from Richard Bliss Brooks talking about our incredible leader, Roger Burnett.
And I'm not going to read all of this. You can freeze it, print it out. It's important to know what Richard said about Shackley. Sparkling reputation, healing the mind and the body. You can build a sales organization without worrying about the products not backing you up. They're bulletproof, and we have product integrity. When he first met Roger, he said, "Wow, classy looking guy, very well spoken." And he means You can't say that for a lot of people in our profession. He
Yeah,
said, I mean, casual, authentic, classy, very intelligent. Maybe the most important characteristic is believable, inspirational, and believable.
there you go.
And he went on to say, smart people will understand this business model. The New York Times, Sloan Barnett introduced Shackley to the world. She had the who's who's of New York at her Shackley meeting, her launch party. And again, the integrity, the transparency, the honor, the respect, embracing that business model, teaching people to recruit in an honorable way is why we chose Shackley. It's not about fancy cars and planes and houses and money, but there's a lot of that. I mean, we were able to buy a duplex with two condos on the Gulf of Mexico with money from Shackley. And we have vaulted ceilings. I thought we were going to end up buying some tiny little hole in the wall, but my daughter's a realtor in the Panhandle and she found us the perfect property. Quarter acre,
Yeah.
private, saltwater hot tub, and a fire pit in the backyard. I never dreamt we could have anything like that. But the DNA of Shackley is impeccable integrity. It's transparent, authentic, honorable, respectful, ethical, totally compliant. And again, this is Richard Bliss Brooks saying this. You can take care of your parents, which I was able to do. My mom was put on hospice and I moved in with her. And she loved it looking over at me on my computer that I could be there and take care of her.
Yeah.
And she felt better. I upped her regimen, but we still got paid. And he said that the income keeps coming in. That's freedom.
Amen. Well, let's talk a little bit more about our proven leadership. First of all, Dr. Shackley was a pastor, an inventor, a pilot, and an entrepreneur, and introduced the world to vitamins back in 1915 when the word vitamins was not even in the dictionary.
Right.
So, with his proven leadership, we are not only A plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, but we've paid over 9 billion in commissions and bonuses to distributors just like you and I. And what I love that Dr. Shackley says is the medical field is interested in treating disease. I'm interested in building health. And what Roger talks about is that we're building into the DNA of this company is the fact that we care about the goodness and the social benefits as much as we care about the money. And that's really the key thing about it. And Roger, coming from, a Yale background, also from Harvard, and also being able to be sitting on the board of the Metropolitan Opera Foundation. The cool part about it as well is that he is not only the leader of this incredible company, but is also the chairman of the World Federation of Direct Selling. Whoops, sorry about that. Kind of went a little ahead of ourselves there. So one of the cool things about it is that we have so much to offer, and not only here in the U.S. but worldwide. And I want Cheryl to talk a little bit more about Roger's connection with our tree planting program that was started by Wangari Maathai, and the fact that Roger truly understands the only way we succeed is to make our customers healthier and our partners wealthier, and to make the planet a better place.
Right, on the lower right here, he's planting trees with Wangari Maathai, the first woman in East and Central Africa to earn a PhD. She also earned the Nobel Prize for the Environment. When she did, Roger called her and congratulated her in Swahili. He speaks 5 languages. Show me another guy who owns a company like ours with his pedigree and his integrity. I've never seen anything like it. And I've been in this industry since my baby was born, and she is 46 years old.
Amazing. Well, here's the thing. We are talking about where are you going to be building your future, on a solid rock or on sinking sand? And we hope that you'll make a good choice and understand the ball's in your court, but the opportunity has never been better.
That's right. We wanted proven products, stability, and a history of integrity. We also wanted to build something for our kids and grandkids. Shackley's the safest, most solid foundation we've ever found. Stop it there.
Beautiful. All right. Well, with that, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Get back with the person who thought enough to invite you to take a look. Get all your questions answered. We look forward to having you live at one of the events, or having you take a look at another video at some point soon.
That's right. Let's do this.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.